Welcome to the Taiwan language episode, a podcast for learning and insight in Mandarin and Taiwanese. I am your host, Yasmin. Welcome to today's episode. On Taiwan streets, there is a unique thing that you don't often find elsewhere, and that is the betel nut shops. These are little stores usually set up by the roadside. If you are driving in a busy area, you will probably see some women dressed in eye-catching outfits sitting inside, working away with their hands on something. As soon as a car pulls up, they get up and approach it. These attractive women, whom we call betel nut beauties, are busy packing what we call betel nuts. To understand the popularity of betel nut in Taiwan, you have to look back at its history. In fact, the indigenous people living in Taiwan have been eating betel nut for a long time. When foreign settlers arrived in Taiwan, such as Dutch and Chinese immigrants, they noticed that Taiwan's environment seemed to cause people to get sick quite often. This was because Taiwan's climate is subtropical, filled with mountains and dense forest, where decaying plant matter releases toxins into the air, making people more likely to fall ill. The indigenous people, however, didn't seem to get sick as much, and this caught the attention of these foreign settlers. They observed that the indigenous people had a habit of chewing betel nut. Since people from regions like Guangdong, Yunnan, Sichuan, and Fujian also chewed betel nut to avoid miasma or harmful vapors, they guessed that chewing betel nut may be what helped keep Taiwan's people from getting sick. Over time, the popularity of betel nuts continued to grow in Taiwan. Even now, with modern advances in technology and medicine, people don't rely on betel nut for health reasons anymore. Yet, it's still widely consumed. In Taiwan, many people, particularly working-class men like construction workers, truck drivers, and others who work long hours, enjoy chewing betel nuts. They rely on its stimulating effect to stay alert and reduce fatigue, especially when they have to keep awake during long shifts. For them, betel nut not only boosts energy but also gives a slight feeling of pleasure and relaxation, though the effect is probably more psychological. Just like coffee, betel nut has become something a lot of people can't go without. But we also need to talk about the health risk. While many people enjoy betel nut, it comes with serious health risk. Studies show that long-term chewing of betel nut is strongly linked to oral cancer, which makes Taiwan one of the countries with the highest rates of oral cancer worldwide. This is due to the combination of substances in betel nut along with smoking and drinking habits, with a significantly raised risk of oral cancer. The ingredients in betel nut have been shown to damage oral tissue over time, causing chronic ulcers that can eventually develop into cancer. Many men who chew betel nut over the years later need treatment for oral cancer. Even after they recover, it's hard for them to restore the original appearance of their face and mouth. Some have swelling, while others are left with tumor-like lumps or scars. The majority of oral cancer patients are men who have chewed betel nut for a long time, with alcohol consumption and smoking as additional factors. Research has found that about 90% of oral cancer patients are betel nut chewers, and their risk of developing oral cancer is 28 times higher than those who don't chew. Betel nut addiction is also an issue. People who regularly chew betel nut tend to develop a dependence on it. As the government began regulating how betel nut beauties are dressed and behaved, the number of provocatively dressed sellers gradually went down. Though you can still find some betel nut stores in Taiwan today, they are not as obvious as they used to be, and they no longer make passers-by feel as embarrassed as they once did. Yet, despite these changes, the culture around betel nut continues to evolve on Taiwan street. For many, chewing betel nut and seeing the betel nut beauties have become an iconic part of Taiwan street culture and a unique sight on its streets. I am not sure if you've ever seen someone chewing betel nut before. You know, when they open their mouth to talk, their teeth are stained all over with this reddish orange color. And honestly, when they are talking to you, you can also catch that distinct betel nut smell. It's not exactly the most elegant impression, isn't it? But you know, I can totally understand. Once you get used to chewing betel nut, it's really hard to quit. If I had a friend or a family member with this habit, I think I would try to help them quit. I will probably suggest something that could satisfy their need to chew, but in a healthier way. For instance, if they are a truck driver who chews betel nut to pass the time during those long, boring hours on the road, maybe they could switch to chewing gum instead. Or if they chew betel nut because it helps them feel more energized, I might suggest keeping a cup of coffee in the car. That way they can stay awake and alert without needing betel nut. What about you? If someone in your life chews betel nut, how would you help them kick the habit? I would love to hear your ideas. Feel free to write to me or leave a message. Well, that's it for today's episode. Here comes our Taiwanese vocabulary. 槟榔, 槟榔, that is betel nut. 爆槟榔, that's chewing betel nut. So 爆 here is a verb, that is to chew. 爆槟榔. And as I just shared that, the group that often consumed more betel nut, that is workers. So workers here, 工人, 工人. Workers here that involved in the building and the construction industry, typically doing physical labor on construction sites. 卡车司机, 卡车司机. Truck drivers. 槟榔西施, 槟榔西施, that's betel nut beauties. Young women who work at betel nut shops often dressed in revealing clothing, selling betel nuts and other products to customers. 健康風險, 健康風險, health risk, that's a potential danger or negative effect to health. 風景, 風景, scenery, that's natural figures of a place. 風景. Alright, so let's review today's Taiwanese vocabulary. 槟榔, 爆槟榔, 工人, 卡車司機, 槟榔西施, 健康風險, 風景. So that wraps up what I had to share today. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a 5-star review on your listening platform. Feel free to share this podcast with your friends to help more people discover this podcast. You can support my work by buying me a cup of coffee, which helps this podcast to continue providing learning resources. To enrich your learning experience, I create a study guide in Chinese with pinyin versions. The content comprises a text in both Chinese and Taiwanese, with Taiwanese romanization and local phonetic symbols, vocabulary, reading comprehension questions with answer keys, and extension questions. You can become a member, subscribe to the study guide, and utilize it to preview before the new podcast episode launches, or review after listening to the podcast to enhance your language skills. Make sure to check our show notes for more information. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you join us again on Taiwan language episode. Till next time, bye bye.